couple of opening statements on the victory. And for questions, first we'll go to Charles Odom, followed by Chip Towers.
Yeah, I'd open with our fan base. What an incredible turnout. It felt like a home game when you looked up in the stands to see all the red. I expected it to be that way, but maybe not as much as it was. I thought our guys started fast, and we challenged them to start fast. I was pleased with that. I was pleased with no penalties. We had some sloppy series defensively and offensively, but all in all, the guys came out and they executed to a standard, and they didn't play the scoreboard. They played to our standard, and I was proud of what they were able to do.
Obviously, your background is defense, finishing the regular season with your team's third shutout. I know that you're always looking for improvement, but what does a third shutout mean to you?
So a third shutout is hard to come by. I've coached a lot of seasons in the SEC. I feel like I've been around the league for 20-something years, and 3 shutouts is hard to come by. And I'm really proud of those guys, especially the twos that got to come in there in the late in the third and the whole fourth quarter and try to hold that standard. I was really proud of them for doing that.
Coach, do you get much time to enjoy this? Obviously, it was a historic win. You got to turn your attention to the biggest game of the year, I assume now. How much can you enjoy this, and can you talk a little bit about facing Alabama next week?
Yeah, I think we embrace it. We get the Governor's Trophy, which is a great honor. Our expectation was to come in here and win this game, and that makes it, that's the enjoyment, is enjoying the game and enjoying the second half and seeing the other guys playing. So it makes it easier to transition where it's not so emotional. You're not invested emotionally when the game is kind of finished and over in the third and fourth quarter. So that probably helped in terms of not wasting emotion. But, we know it's a big one coming up. Everybody's had it kind of circled and seen it out there. And we've really tried to work hard on getting better. And that's been the emphasis, is what can we improve on? In the last, 2 weeks, we've tried to be ascending. We've tried to get some guys back healthy. And that's going to be the focus this week, is nobody trying to do more than they should. We just need to be at our best, and we need to play one of our best football games. They've got a really talented football team.
We'll next go to Mark Weiser, followed by Anthony Dasher.
Kirby, I think after that Clemson game, you guys won every game by 17 or more points. What does it say about kind of sustaining that level of play week after week, when you guys have already achieved a goal like winning the SEC East and just some good consistency like that?
Well, it helps with your depth. I think you get to play other guys. I constantly worry about conditioning in 4-quarter games, because the Clemson game, was the first game of the year, and I thought we were a little tired and we had to play the whole time. So we've worked really hard on Mondays and Tuesdays, running guys, trying to make sure that we're keeping our stamina up. But it just says that they hold each other accountable. They're up for the task. They've answered the bell. They've done the right things. But we also haven't played a team the caliber of Alabama. So that's the important thing, is we've got to be able to execute for 4 quarters and do it at a high level.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned, getting healthy. Obviously, Jamari and Chris Smith were not able to go today. Was that more of a precautionary, or is there some more concerns about those guys?
No, it was not precautionary. I mean, they weren't able to go. I mean, we tried to get both of them back. They're both fighting back. We thought Jamari was back, and then he had a little setback on I can't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, but he had a little bit of a setback. But it wasn't the same injury he had before. It was some scar tissue. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get him back, and then we're hopeful for Chris too. But we just know that.
We'll go to Dean Legge, followed by Connor Riley.
Kirby, I want to get back to the no penalties thing. How many times in your career have you seen it? I mean, it's just so rare. Can you recall a time that y'all did that at Bama, or even?
I don't know that I've ever really looked at it. I mean, it's not a stat category that I look at. You only look at it when it's bad, right? So if you have a bunch of them and it's like, oh man, we had a lot of penalties, but I didn't even know it. Somebody came over and told me after the game and said, "Hey, we had no penalties." And I thought, wow, that can be good and bad. That's one of those. Are you being aggressive enough? Are you blocking aggressive enough? And those kind of things. You want to press the limits of what you can do, but I'm very pleased with that. I mean, we count them and watch them in practice, and we harp on, not being penalized, but we certainly want to be aggressive.
Hey, Kirby, George Pickens makes his debut today. Just what does it mean for this team to get not, what he could be as a player, but just him as a person back on this team, back on this, given all he's put in the last 8 months?
Well, first, I'm just proud of the effort George has put into getting back. He's worked really hard. I mean, we know the guys on the team that have had ACLs. It's a mental injury as much as it is a physical injury. I mean, it's taxing and it's draining to sit there and watch all your friends go out and play in the spring and play the spring game and then go play in the fall. And you're sitting there doing rehab all the time. So George loves football, and George has always really wanted to get back and have an opportunity to get out there. And we were able to integrate him a little more in practice and try to get him some confidence in his legs and some things. And he's done a really good job. He's hit good GPS numbers. He's worked really hard at what he's doing, and he has to continue to do that, because it's one thing to just go catch the ball. It's another thing to get the signal, get lined up, know who I block, know what I do, my conversions, and he's still getting all that back kind of in the flow of things.
We'll next go to Jed May and then Jake Rowe.
Yeah, Kirby, y'all keep talking about ascending and working to play better and all that kind of stuff. Even if it's not perfect, I mean, do y'all feel like this team is, playing its best football of the year right now?
I think they're hungry to play their best. We're still getting better. What excites me is that, like, the strength of our team is our team, and like that is what excites me. It's not like the strength of our team is this or that. It's the leaders, it's the players on the team that are the strength of the team. They came in and said the things that needed to be said to the players about this week and how it's going to go. And when they speak, people listen. So I think we're getting better. I think that you're also getting towards the end of the year when sometimes things get sloppy. I'm talking about tackling, wrapping up, blocking on the perimeter. You got to really stay locked into those things.
Hey, Kirby, Kyrus comes out with that rib injury. Do you know anything about that, how severe it might be and what his status might be?
Don't. I thought he was going to be able to go back. Is a little bit of rib injury, and I don't know how different it is from the one he had a while back. I asked him, and he said it was pretty painful and didn't think he could go. So held him out at that point.
We'll next go to Seth Emerson, followed by Jack Duffy.
Kirby, on George coming back, there was a roar from the crowd when they saw him go in. What did it mean to you to see him go in? What do you think it meant to him? Because obviously when he tore his ACL, there were a lot of people who thought his Georgia career was over.
Yeah, I thought it meant a lot to him to hear that. He knows he's very charismatic. He has a great personality in football. Like, he had practiced for the last 3 weeks, I guess, 4 weeks. I don't know how long it's been. He's a joy to have out there because he's like an energy ball. You just, you never know what he's going to do. He goes up and catches balls and competes and brings juice to practice like he always has. And he's made some really good plays in practice, and he hasn't really been clear for contact until the end of this past week. And I just thought it meant a lot to him to get out there and try to gain some confidence, some things he could have done better that he wasn't perfect at. And he's got to continue to get involved in some things. And he's still not, he's safe and he's cleared, but he's not 100% right now. He's got the knee brace on, and I think he's pushing that, but we're proud of the GPS numbers he's hit.
Hey, Kirby, talk to me about the undefeated regular season. It hasn't happened at Georgia since 1982. What does this achievement mean to you and for this team?
I hate to just demean it. It's a big deal. It's an honor. It's great, but it's the next step in the process for this group. It's just, this group has had a single-minded focus. It never said, hey, let's go 12-0. It just said, hey, let's beat everybody we play. And let's focus one game at a time and try to really dominate who we play. And they've done that. Our prep has been better some weeks than others, but I can't say that we've had a down week of practice. If there was anything close, it was probably Charleston Southern. And I feel like this week they had good focus and good energy. And the same will be required. I think it's something we'll look back on and be really proud of. but a lot more is going to be judged based on, what we do in the future.
We'll next go to Miles Arthur and then to Palmer Toms.
What's up, Coach? Obviously, like you said, it was a very much an electric environment. What does it mean to you and to your team to go into Tech and not only shut them out, but to beat your state rival the way you did?
It's awesome. It's great for the kids. There's so many guys from Atlanta. I think it's good for recruiting. Our recruits, they text and say, "Man, look at all the Georgia fans that have taken over the stadium." And a lot of my friends are like, it's convenient. They live in Atlanta. They get to come to the game and watch the Dogs play in Atlanta. And I know that atmosphere was great. Seemed like the weather was great.
Kirby, Stetson's first 9 completions were to 9 different receivers. What does that say about the depth of your pass catchers and the potential for it with George coming back?
I missed the end of that. What was that?
What does it say about the potential of this group, of pass catchers, the depth of them and the potential for it with George coming back?
Well, I mean, with or without George back, I think the group has come a long way. I mean, they've done a tremendous job. I think, other guys, AD has developed and is really playing good football right now. Jermaine has come on and is healthy. Lad's playing well. I mean, you look at the things the guys are doing. Brock, I mean, things people don't talk about on Brock is the perimeter blocking he's been able to do. Darnell's a big target. I think Coach Munkin deserves and the offensive staff deserves some credit for using the skill sets of the players that we have.
We'll next go to Michael Cunningham, followed by Angela Morion.
Coach, Alabama's kind of been looming in the background throughout this whole season, and you said that you never thought that your team lost focus. Now that Bama's here, what is your message to the team going forward?
The SEC championship is one of the greatest environments there is in all of college sports, like all of college sports. Compares with Final Four, compares with College World Series. It's one of the greatest events. You go back to, one of the Bama games, Bama-Georgia SEC championship games, and you got the most viewed game even the whole season over the national championship. So I think what Commissioner Sankey and the SEC leadership has created is value in a game when a lot of championships don't have the same value. And the stage and television audience and the national audience you get is tremendous for our school, for recruiting, for everything. And it's just one of the greatest events to play in a great location where football is king all across the South.
Coach Lad McConkey is from our area in Chattanooga area. How much of an asset has he been for you guys this season? Just
incredible. I just go back to the decision to sign him, and it's just one of the better decisions we've made because, so many people doubt that he could make it, that he could play. He's so consistent. He gives you the same work every day. He's tough as nails. He's smart, dependable, fast. I mean, everything you want in a football player. And wish we had, more like him.
And our final question today will go to Emily Ganrell with CBS 46. And if not Emily, we'll try Allison Mastrangelo.
Hey, Coach, I know you talked about briefly the no penalties and how great that was, but you also had 0 interceptions. Just overall, how good is it to have a clean football game going into the SEC championship game when you want to play your best?
That's big. It's one of the big things we've been focused on. We don't focus as much on the penalties. We focus on the no turnovers. And I thought Tech was ripping and tearing at the ball on our ball carriers, so we protected it well. Stets had 1 or 2 that were, they were dangerous, and that's a big part of the decision making is going the right place for the ball. And when it's not there, tuck it and run and get what you can get and try to keep us out of long yardage situations. But I was proud that we did not turn it over.
Thanks, Coach. One more note, courtesy of Anthony Dasher. Anthony looked up and found out the last time we had no penalties in a game was 2019, also against Georgia Tech. So thanks, Dash, for doing our jobs for us.
Always count on Dash. Thanks, Dash.
Okay.